Hey there, everybody. Welcome back with the Plat, or Platypus is the name, and today we're going to read the patch notes for Arcanium. Now, this is a major update. I haven't read through them yet, but I did watch a video on kind of like a summary, but hopefully this will be a little more in-depth. But basically, they're adding a new hero, which is awesome. That's like just more run diversity in general. But also, there's a lot of core mechanics that are just changing. So if you haven't picked up the game, this would definitely be a good time to pick it up. And if you have played the game in the past, this is going to be a good time to come back and play more. Anyway, let's not dilly-dally. Let's just jump right into it and start reading and figure out what's new. First, new hero, Ragnarok. I assume it's this guy right here. Kind of looks like a Renekton from League of Legends, if you can see it. Also, if I'm talking about something you can't see, I'm sorry. I'll try to best to address it, but I have it a little bit zoomed in. That way you guys can see it a bit better on the camera. Anyway, we've made some changes to the battle and exploration of Arcanium. In order to make the game more engaging, these changes also addressed a lot of the core issues with the game and make the experience a lot more balanced and more enjoyable on all levels. We hope that we all enjoy the new version. I'm very excited to try it. I'm going to play it for the first time right after this. But these patch notes just came out, you know, like what time is it right now? It came out like 3 hours ago. Ragnarok is out now. Here are some feature highlights. Battle-hardened war commander and a mercenary class hero. Battle-hardened war commander. I like the sound of that. Unlockable with 100 stones. So here's two points. One, I think 100 stones is too much. I personally think that it just takes too long. It could take 3 hours of gameplay plus to get 100 stones to unlock a character, so you can kind of feel like you're grinding to unlock a character when individual characters already have a level up system, where it's like you grind that character once you have them to unlock new cards from them, and you're grinding, and you're playing runs, you're unlocking new stuff. I don't think the characters need to be kept behind what I consider such a steep cost, especially as the 100 stones becomes more egregious the more and more characters there are, right? Especially as a new player coming in, because it could be like 20 hours to unlock all these characters or whatever. But two things. The reason why everything I said doesn't matter is because the developers in their Discord said that they're considering, and I think they said they are going to push out a patch that lowers the stone cost of new units to 20 stones. I honestly don't know what stones do besides unlock heroes, so it might mean that we have a huge stockpile that does nothing. I don't know. I'm sure that stuff will all be addressed later, but I believe that this is going to be addressed to 20 stones, which I think is a wonderful change. Specializes in playing minion cards. Oh baby, a whole mechanic that you barely get to mess with currently in the game. And boosting them in order to crush his foes. Love this. I cannot fucking wait. I love minions and things like that. I love summoning. You know, I love playing Necromancer and Diablo. Comes with a brand new set of 32 ability cards, 2 heirloom artifact cards. New keyword promote. We've seen this on enemy units, but maybe it's different. Promote will be found on minions. Each time a promote minion is played to an already existing minion on the board, it will absorb its attack value to turn him into an even deadlier minion. Doing so, unfortunately, will automatically apply exhaust to the minion and destroy it at the start of the next turn. I don't know why I don't love this. I like it, but I don't love it. I don't like the keyword. I think this is a flavor thing. Mechanically, it seems fine. It seems reasonable. You're going to affect, but the flavor of promoting a unit that then gets exhausted after the promotion, like but that feels more like a corporate world kind of thing. It doesn't really feel like the mercenary with the unit. Like you think of generals, you know, I feel like more passion, more things like that. I don't like the exhaust mechanic with the word promote. Maybe if it's called veteran or something, you know, like you make a unit, like maybe it's like you have a 3/3 or whatever, but then you have a unit that's like a veteran, and then its exhaust could be symbolize its retirement or something like that, you know. But I don't know. It's honestly not worth talking about at all. The mechanic is totally fine. I just don't like the name of the mechanic for what it does. It's like if poison did frost damage. It's kind of like it's more extreme, but that's kind of the same complaint I'm trying to articulate. New artifacts. New artifacts were added to the game to synergize with new mechanics and changes. Heavy Chopper, deal 3 extra CP. I don't think they've addressed this yet. CP, I believe, is combo points, which I think they'll talk about a little bit further down. Add 3 extra combo points when you resolve your combo and breaker effects. Cool. Add 3 extra CP. Okay, so these are things that we'll figure out how good they are when we actually get them in the game. Teleport whenever you dash. I don't know why. I don't know how good that is. That doesn't make sense to me yet. But apply an extra combo point per hit whenever you are below 8 HP. That's 8 HP is very low. It sounds very low anyway. Your melee abilities apply an extra combo point per hit. That sounds insane. That's doubling, right? Doubling the amount of combo points per hit. That feels like legendary level. Feathered Hat. Your ranged abilities apply an extra combo point per hit. Okay, so at least they're separate, but I do like that you can get them both on a character theoretically. Draw 1 card whenever you play a card, but lose 4 health. Grenade Launcher. Draw 1 card whenever you play a card, but you lose every time you play any card, you lose 4 health. The cost doesn't seem worth it. 4 health every time you play any card. Apparently, if 8 HP is a low amount, and you're dealing 4 damage, like, I don't know, it just seems like I don't like it yet. Whenever you destroy an enemy with an ability, I think it's a cool effect. Like, it's a really cool effect, but that's a huge drawback. Mechanically, I probably won't pick it up that much. Whenever you destroy an enemy with an ability, return it to your hand and change its cost to 0 until played. Interesting. I wonder if all cards count as abilities or if only specific cards count as abilities. Like, does a melee strike count as an ability? I don't know. These artifacts were changed. Lost Medallion, gain 2 power whenever your team loses a heart. I wish, yeah, we should do this in a different order, maybe. Yeah, let's just do this really quick. Apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies whenever you lose a hero in battle. Okay, so hearts, heroes, this is pretty self-explanatory. Basically, hearts are, when you used to lose the game the second a hero died. If you play this game, you know that. You have 3 heroes, when one of them dies, it's game over. Now you have 5 hearts, so now you have 5, you can let a character die 5 times. I believe they're down for the rest of the combat, but then they come back at the end of combat. With how much HP or something. I don't fully know how the mechanic works, but the idea is you now have kind of these lives, a shared pool of lives. But I think they lowered HP a significant amount in order to compensate for that. But applying a vulnerable to enemies whenever you lose a hero in battle, it's interesting. Your abilities deal 1 extra damage for every 4 combo points on the target. 4 combo points sounds like a lot, but maybe it's not. Deal damage equal to 50% of your shield whenever an enemy hits you. Honestly, these things are like cool, but they're not... This isn't that big of a deal. This is balance stuff, and we're not going to really know until we get into the game and actually play it. The combat mechanics received a ton of new upgrades and tweaks in past weeks. Here are some of the main changes, highlights. CP, combo points, here we go. Combos are a new mechanic that's been added to this patch. Every time a hero hits an enemy, you will apply a CP. So every time you hit an enemy, you always apply a CP. This means that multi-strike cards are the most efficient way to apply CP. CP is used as fuel to trigger explosive and exciting new effects. For that reason, a lot of abilities have been modified to reflect this change. Please check out the in-game collection to see how cards have been affected. Okay, so they're not going to list every card. Maybe there's too many to list here reasonably. Some abilities can now use CP on the target to increase their effectiveness, and watch out for combo keyword. Okay, so every time you hit, you apply combo points, and it sounds like every hero is going to have a way to interact with these combo points. But it sounds like obviously Malady or Malady, the multi-strike hero, is going to have much more interaction with this mechanic in general. Even though it's always there, and every character has access to it, one character is going to have or one style of character with a lot of multi-strike is going to have disproportionate, good effects from this. All right, combo keyword, combo breaker ability. Some abilities can now destroy all current combo points on the target to increase their effectiveness. Watch out for breaker. So combo might scale with the higher the CP is, and breaker consumes the CP for an effect. So maybe you use a combo and then you kind of want to end with a breaker, obviously. I think combo points expire at the end of turn. I don't know if it says that anywhere. We'll have to find out. Action points. This is huge. Action points are no longer shared by the team. Already, huge difference, completely altering everything. Instead, heroes receive their own AP to play abilities. Heroes now have 3 AP at the start of each turn. So you've just gone from 6 AP in the previous version to 9 per turn, right? So you have 3 more AP a turn. I assume that they're going to compensate for this. AP can now be used. One second, let's read this really quick. Unused AP can now be stored for future turns to a max of 5 AP total. Each hero now has access to 5 AP slots maximum visible on their portrait. Okay, so you can get up to 5 AP per hero, and you can roll over. But you have way more AP. But more importantly, the entire way you played the game, I played the game, was I would kind of stack a character. And I would have other characters kind of like, there's be times I want to use a character for like multiple combats, right? Like I'm just using Malady for the damage, and I'm using the other guy to like make her invulnerable and keep the team safe. And I wouldn't use the fire whatever chick. And now you always have the same amount of AP access to all characters. So you're gonna want to build your team out more balanced always, because then you're gonna be throwing away 3 CP a turn if you don't. So this is very, very it's a very exciting change for me, because it's going to completely change the way that I played the game previously. And being able to roll over AP adds a fun dynamic where sometimes you can choose to not cast a spell to have a better next turn, right? That's fun. And if you just get like, you're not able, you know, if you, let's say you have a card that costs 2, you only have 1 AP, you're going to have 4 next turn, right? So this is overall a buff. Just having this is like a really powerful effect. Lots of decisions. Fury meter cap raised to 30. Recycle mechanic. You can now recycle any card in your hand by dragging it onto the Fury meter at the bottom right corner of your screen. Okay, so you can discard 1, draw 1 with any card. Doing so will immediately discard the card, but you will lose Fury equal to the card's cost. So instead of gaining Fury from that, you will lose Fury. It sounds like it costs 0 AP to do this effect though. So here's an issue here, not a quote, an exploit. It doesn't sound like, right, so it doesn't say anywhere that uses AP. Whether it does or doesn't, we'll have to see. But hypothetically, you're in a round, right, and you have, let's say you have 30 Fury, right, you're about to, and you use all your Fury. Now you have 0 Fury. Can you recycle your entire team's hand to find the perfect hand because you no longer have Fury to lose? That's a kind of question that I have to think about. Like, if at the beginning of combat, when you have 0 Fury, can you recycle your hand unlimited to find the perfect opening every single combat? If so, that'll be something that'll have to be addressed for sure, where it's going to cost maybe a minimum, always cost 1 AP to discard a card. You can now recycle a card in your hand by dragging it onto the Fury meter at the bottom right corner of the screen. Doing so will immediately discard the card, but you will lose Fury equal to the card's cost. Doesn't say anything about using AP, but so we'll figure out how that works. Definitely, with the way it's worded right now, it seems very, very exploitable. Exploration has received the most changes. The most changes? Exploration has received the most changes. Did you see that the entire core of the combat system is completely flipped on its head? All right, let's get into exploration then. Holy crap. Hearts. Your team can now start with 5 hearts. I kind of consider this a combat mechanic, not an exploration mechanic myself. 5 hearts in normal mode. Okay, so that's going to be one of the difficulty things that changes. Losing a hero in battle will destroy a heart. You can lose hearts from the map as well as in battles. Losing all hearts will terminate your run. Hearts can now... Okay, so here's the thing I don't like. Just the way this is worded. I like everything about this. I don't mind losing hearts from the map. I don't mind that you lose when you lose all hearts. The fact that you could lose your run... theoretically, at least from the way it's worded, if you can lose your run based off losing a heart while you're in a map, not even in combat, that feels very, very bad. And I hope that's not possible. Like, if you're down to your last heart and you're gonna go to the fight, the final boss or whatever, and you're like, all right, I've stabilized, I'm good, I could do it, I spent all my money healing, and then you take a step and you could lose a heart to some random event, that's gonna feel bad. So hopefully, I actually think losing hearts from the map needs to... I don't really love that. Maybe make it if you only have 1 heart left, you can't lose it like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just something that's not as big of a deal as you think. But as of now, my assumption is that the potential feel badness of this is really high. So maybe just mitigating the worst case scenario is enough to keep the mechanic around. Losing all hearts will terminate your run. Hearts cannot be regained. Period. To compensate for the change, heroes have their health reduced baseline, so everyone has lower HP. New corruption mechanic. Okay, corruption was like that thing when things started coming down. Stepping on a corruption tile will damage your entire team for 10 health. I think it used to do 4, and now it does 10, and we have reduced health. So corruption, don't fuck with it. That shit is gonna destroy you. Day-night cycle changes. Used nodes will be turned into battle. Okay, used nodes will be turned into battle whenever you reach nighttime. This doesn't say some, it does say used nodes will all be turned, like it will be turned into battle. I don't know if this is all or it means some of them like will roll. Battle tiles will be turned into loot caches, oracles, or campsites. I don't fully understand the day-night cycle, but it'll be different. We'll have to get in game to really see that one. Campsites can now only heal your team, but have multiple options. They no longer allow you to upgrade a card. Okay, so you have to go. That's fine. I didn't really use it that much. I normally went to the 50 gold thing because usually I needed the healing, at least when I played. Oracle tiles new. Oracles are a new node type that will allow you to upgrade abilities with multiple choice options. Okay, cool. Loot caches. Loot caches will now grant you 3 random ability cards, 1 per hero. Cool, 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 cool. 1 per hero is fun, as well as a consumable. I like that. It's definitely helps compensate for the fact that we're gonna have to build characters evenly. So it looks like you get all of them. You don't just choose one, you just get all 3 of them. Axe and corruption meter. Corruption cap has been lowered to 10 from 40. Okay, and hopefully let's continue reading. And the game has been split into 4 acts. A new act is reached upon defeating a shard and will reset the corruption meter to 0 out of 10. Okay, so when you finish the act, corruption goes back down to 0. That's a nice deal. So there's still 40 over the course of the whole run, but now it resets in between. Interesting. So you're now allowed to take almost the same amount of time per act as opposed to being really slow in the intro, or like between taking a long time in one aspect and then rushing through certain acts. You're always had the same amount of time, so you want to utilize every act as much as possible. I like that change overall. Cataclysm will trigger whenever you reach 10 out of 10 corruption on the meter. Every step you take in Cataclysm will corrupt all tiles adjacent to the shard and will keep doing so until the map is entirely covered. So things are going to get crazy. It's going to like wave out is what it sounds like. Bonus card upgrades are now given as a reward for defeating a super elite earlier than 10/10 corruption on the meter. Bonus card upgrades. Cool. 1x card upgrade will be given per 1 corruption left on the meter upon defeating the shard battle. What? Oh, upon defeating the shard battle. So if you get there, 1 card upgrade will be given per corruption left on the meter. I assume that means like if you're at 5, let's say your corruption's at 8 out of 10, you don't get 8 corruption because there's not 8 left on the meter. It probably means you get the 2 remaining corruption before it fully hits the 10. So if you wait till 10, you get nothing. That's my guess. I don't fully understand. Deck building. Heroes start with 2 copies of 4 starter abilities instead of 3 abilities. Okay. Increasing the minimum deck size to 8. Unlock Ultimate Plus by reaching a full deck size of 12. Okay, so you have 8 cards instead of whatever, it was like 6. So you have more cards, so your deck's less consistent. That's the minimum deck size is 8. So that's going to be harder for early game, but you're also casting more cards with people in general. I wonder if it doesn't say anything about how to get redraw 3. Maybe you start with redraw 3 now. Maybe it's still like at 8 or whatever. Or maybe it's at 10. I don't know. I don't know. They didn't see anything. They said Alt Plus, but they didn't say anything about redraw, which is like the more important one overall. We've managed to introduce some massive improvements in the code. Sorry, you can't read that. And some resolution and windowed modes, so the game will blah, 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 optimization. Cool. Well, that's everything. Okay, so the exploration is totally different. Now, in the video, a couple things that I don't feel like were addressed, that I think, is the day-night cycle. I believe walking in a tile that you've already used does not add corruption. I believe you can create paths and you can kind of use those. But then I think it's like at nighttime, some of those tiles become battles, and during daytime, battles will turn into loot caches or something. It's something like that. I don't fully understand it, but that'll require a little bit of play. But I'm actually going to put the link to their video below. It was unlisted. I think you had to click on it through Discord, but these are huge changes, and overall I think they're fantastic. I love it. There's only a few things that I want to address, really, and I kind of already talked about them. Just to highlight, the good. We'll do good. We'll do a good, and then things that I don't like as much. I love the team dynamic, combo points, right? You have more characters doing more things, and you're putting on combo points. Then you want to explode these combo points. It's gonna make, and combo points fall off at the end of the turn. I don't think it says that here, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It's gonna make you wanting your characters to synergize together rather than having your individual characters synergize with themselves, right? Because before it was just like, make this character as synergistic with their own abilities, and now it's gonna really feel like because you have to use all your characters, you really want all their abilities to synergize to make these really, really cool turns. And things aren't carrying over. One thing they didn't address here as well, sorry, is debuffs fall off way faster. Things like poison and like burn or whatever don't fall off one at a time. They tick off 50% at a time, which is it's a huge nerf. So maybe you apply more at a time, maybe you don't, but it means that you're not just going to be stacking debuffs for the whole battle. You're going to be doing these more explosive turns with combo points and more actions and stuff like that. So I love this team dynamic direction the game has gone. The way I thought of comparing it is like, instead of Slay the Spire, where it's all about stacking debuffs and buffs and scaling over the course of a fight to like really build an engine within your deck, right? This is more like a Darkest Dungeon, where each individual turn is a very significant turn, and debuffs are powerful but short. You know, you're not stacking them higher and higher, which is really cool. I love the direction the game's going. The only things, and now the things, also the exploration, I love the 4-act thing. I love that it resets to 0. That way you get to fully use each of these acts to their maximum, instead of rushing suddenly to the end. It's like, okay, a corruption's almost up, just go boss fight, boss fight, boss fight, end. It'll make things much more, I think, flow way better. I don't love that you could lose a heart outside of battle. I don't like that at all. It's like, okay, but like it's got to be either so rare, I don't want to be able to lose a run from that. And the only other things were the recycle mechanic. I'm not sure if it cost AP to do this. I have to assume it does, because it would be too powerful if it didn't cost AP. Because the drawback, because it even states here, you will lose fury equal to the card's cost as a drawback. That's not a drawback if you don't have fury that it means. So we'll see how that works in combat. But that's going to be it. Very excited for this new character. Hopefully that patch comes out soon. That only makes it 20 stones, so I can play right away with the character. But we'll do a run without the character first, and then we'll see exactly what's going on. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Awesome patch notes. Huge update. I love, this is like an expansion just came out, right? Like, this is like expansion level changes. Because it's like partially a different game now, right? Because the way you're going to play is so different. So great time to jump in. I'm excited. Hope you are too. For platypus is per platypus. Until next time, guys. See ya.